Okay, let's get things going. Studio 47 here. Today's subject is going to be my drinking problem years ago. And where do you begin with something like that? Tough subject. Make a fool of yourself. Too bad I mentioned that when a child is born, you say it's a boy. They'll say it's a boy. They don't say it's a man when you're born. And it took me a long time to get there. I'm going to put a little clip in here, a cute little clip of a little boy. Really nice little picture and all. I think you'll enjoy, you know. And well, before the Navy even, I remember one time we were drinking and we went Boy Scouts and all, and we really went bad. Jeez, I had an uncle that had been a prisoner of war, Second World War, and he used to drink, and there'd be bottles around and all, and I'd rob a little bit out of the bottle, put a little water in there. I was smart. And so I guess we went on a camping trip, and I had some of that. Man, we all got looped. God, you're on a ship, and eventually, you know, you're on a ship, and we're being on a ship one time for 27 days. 27 days. And the destroyer, it rocks back and forth. You'd like for it to stop just for a little while. According to the weather and all, it wasn't a very big ship. And for 27 days. And when you hit the beach, my God, you know, you celebrated, you drank and everything, and all. So they got me into some bad habits in the Navy. And you know, I'm going to stop it right here. We're going to play that little clip of that boy. And we'll find that, you'll find that interesting, and then we'll get back and we'll kick the thing around.
It's 1 block from where they hit Fixers. We got Tommy and his brother. They already gave you up, numbnuts.
Okay, I'm back. So, a boy is different than a girl and everything. Our makeup is different and everything. And we're inquisitive and everything else. And I don't know, but let's get back to this story. In the Navy, you know, I can remember electricians made school at Great Lakes. I didn't think I had a drinking problem or anything. I didn't drink too much. I thought I drank just enough. I was on a hill, and I guess I'd been drinking. And I started at the lake. I guess it was Lake Superior. And I'm up on a hill, and I started to trot down this hill. And then I went out of control. I was going faster and faster and faster and faster until I hit the road. I almost ran into the lake. And then I was totally out of control. I skidded across the road. I ripped the sleeve off the peacoat. Can you imagine that? Ripped the sleeve off. But I didn't think I had any kind of problems or anything. So that one was a good one. Another one in Mayport, Florida. Oh my God. Shore Patrol brought us back 3 times in one night. I almost didn't even go out that night. And the guy begged me. You mean you're not going? And finally I went, and then it was bad. And it ended up...
Because you're
they brought us back, and we sat down on a curb. They didn't do anything to us. They just dropped us off. And then the cab came along and said, "You want to ride back?" And we kept going back. And the final one, we separated on this old road. And I must have collapsed on the road. Dead body, for God's sakes. Gee. And we argued, big guy, my partner and I, about which way to go. He told me the next day I was right. He didn't get back till the afternoon of the following day. He said I was right. I was right? Whew. Bad, bad, bad. So now I come out of the Navy. And I meet this wonderful girl that I married and all. And you take an oath to be for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. And every once in a while I'd go out and thought I deserved to be able to go drinking and well, not, I wasn't real bad and everything. I wasn't a day every day, but I would go bad. I remember coming home one time at 2 o'clock or whatever time I would stumble in, and your grandmother was hiding in a shrubbery, and when I came by, she jumped out of the shrubbery. What I guess it was a frying pan, and was beating me with that frying pan. Beep, bop, boop, like a beat me with that frying pan, trying to bring me to my senses. You know, so I didn't think I had a problem. I got a DWI, and one was bad too. That one I got in trouble and got another DWI, and that one I served the 6 months or something like that. Was like my first one, I guess. I don't know how they counted the things and all, and I kept on driving. And after I got my license back, then I got stopped. Oh, out of control. And then the third one, I have a card now in my pocket that I think it allows me to run people over even. It's a gold card. But at the time, I didn't have the gold card. I don't know if the gold card would work anymore. I don't drink anyway. But I got stopped by a black trooper. I had to pee. And I stopped, and I would have been better off doing it in my pants, you know. And I got in trouble, and at that time, that cost a lot of money. At that time, it was like $10,000 with everything, with the insurance and with all the things that go on. And it was bad. And then that, they decided, the decision was made that I gotta go away and recuperate. I didn't think I had a problem. And well, I'll stop, no problem. I can stop, I'll stop. I won't drink until I go hunting, and then I'll drink. That was my way of looking at it. That was it. I'm gonna stop it here, reorganize, and I'll get back to you. So now I'm away and recuperating or whatever to learn at that stage of life. And my son come up to visit me, and he said, "Your brother's dying." What? My brother was 10 years younger than me, but he smoked. And the following week, my wife came up, and she told me he died. Oat cell cancer of the lungs. And in a couple weeks, the cancer attacked it, dead. So I had completed my course, and she picked me up a couple days later. I'm done, and I'm going home for for the funeral. And well, I'm out of there, but I'm going home for the funeral. And she's carrying on her way home. I gotta go to AA. I gotta go to AA. Oh my God, they're carrying on. And I thought, take me back. It's calmer, more peaceful over there. But we buried my brother and everything. And then the AA, she insisted. She had been going to Al-Anon, and I says, who's going to bring me home? I don't have a driver's license. She says, they'll bring you home. So the guide was bringing me home. I'd ask, I'd go to a meeting just once in a while. I'd go once a week or something. I'd go to a meeting, and somebody would bring me home. But then this one particular night, that guy was doing something and I didn't have a ride. And I'm milling around and everybody's just about gone and I still don't have a ride. And this tall man was leaving and I says, where do you, I need a ride. Where do you live? He says, well, I'll take you home. And he took me home and he dropped me off. And he says, I'll pick you up tomorrow night. Well, I wasn't going nowhere tomorrow night. He nice guy and everything, picked me up. Joe picked me up and then he dropped me off that night and he says, I'll pick you up tomorrow night. What? Another one? We would go a lot. And then he'd say to me, write me a check for $35 or something. We're going away for whatever the amount of money was. We're going away for the weekend. We're going to a retreat. Retreat? Where are we retreating from? And it'd be, I don't even know where we went, like a monastery, and a couple of times and all. But so I had Joe for quite a while, and he knew where all the food was going to be and everything, and we would go, and I just went along with Joe. That's it. And that was the way Joe was, So he was my sponsor. And I had Joe for about 5 years, and he taught me one thing. He said, you can't drink at all. Nothing. You've got to stop completely. Just don't, nothing. The next drink, it'll start you up. You can't even have one. None. Yeah, none. So that was the approach, So I had Joe. Now we were going to meetings and everything and all. And then on one Sunday night, my wife wasn't dressed and she had to go out to get milk to Wawa or something. And she says, she come home and she says, you wouldn't believe who I ran into. She thought she wasn't dressed quite the way she would like to have been dressed. And she had been working in a yard a little bit and everything. And she'd seen Joe. And she says, I ducked from him. She says, but when I went outside, he was standing outside waiting for me. He seen her. And so my wife seen Joe at about 9 o'clock that evening when she went for milk. So that was a Sunday. On Monday, I went to a meeting in Jamesburg, and the guy says to me, sorry to hear about your sponsor. I says, now I'm driving and everything. Joe and I, now it was 5 years later, 6 years later. And sorry to hear about your sponsor. He passed away in his sleep last night. But by that time, and then left to my own thing, and I stopped going to meetings and everything. But I guess by that time I was cured. By luck, I was cured. And I listened to what Joe had told me. And now, at the age of just about 80, from 57 to 80, I stopped. That's my story. And that's what you tell your story in AA. And you open it with, I'm Skip Bailey, I am an alcoholic.